All right, we got our very first look at Duelist Pack Ancient Guardians. Now, you guys know that I'm an absolute sucker when they do these art reveals, right? Like, I love speculating. I think that some of these are some of the coolest things that we have. Now, last time we did this, we were completely wrong, all right? Like, Magistus looked really crazy in terms of its design, and they just threw out expectations really hard. So this is the first look at Duelist Pack Ancient Guardians, which comes out March 6th, actually, in the OCG. Knowing the TCG, we'll probably see that in May. All right. Ugh. So far. So we did not get names with these, but the first thing that we have here is this behemoth of a monster. And the first thing that really catches me off guard here is this is a snake. All right. But it's a snake in armor. Is there a possibility that this is actually mechanical? I don't think so. But, oh my god, Snake's Reign's buyout. The card kind of looks like a reptile flying winged beast monster. Your chance for Snake's Reign to be good again probably is going down. A giant boss monster for a theme that specializes in using the graveyard. I'm going to once again go back to this whole reptile thing, though. If this ends up being a winged beast, rip Snake's Reign. However, if this is in fact a theme that is going to capitalize on using something from the graveyard, my unfortunate downside is this being the boss monster of the theme definitely tells me one thing, that you're probably going to need to have X amount of types in the graveyard, or you're going to have to banish X amount of types to generate some sort of effect. Now, considering it's a boss monster that specializes in using the graveyard, please, Snake's Reign, come on, Snake's Reign, come on. I'm just going to... What do you think down in the comments section? Is this a winged beast? Or is this a reptile monster? I don't know. It's probably going to be something really stupid like this card is also a winged beast, or, you know, it's predominantly a reptile. But if this is actually a theme that truly does work with this, also the fact that it's water around it here definitely is a little bit interesting. So this could be a reptile water monster, which would be kind of interesting. Also, just the little armor around this just basically makes me question things. But knowing this thing is probably going to have about 2,700 attack points. But we'll wait and see in the long run if this thing really lives up to the hype. I do think of the three that were revealed so far, this is probably the weakest one. Now, this next one is for Triff. All right. A pendulum monster capable of controlling the musical scales. Now, the first thing that caught me off guard here was this, what is it, Melodious Support, actually? I was like, are we really just getting Melodious scale support here? Now, considering the fact that they included the text, the ability to control, okay, a pendulum monster capable of controlling the musical scales. This is probably going to have something to do with the ability to change scale numbers. It would surprise me if they actually try to do something a little bit differently about this. Also, the fact that we have more waifu bait here. You guys know in the community how much people eat the crap out of the waifu material at this point. All right, I also want to note here that it does not say a boss monster. All right, it just says a pendulum monster capable of controlling the musical scales. Also, for those of you that are like, where's the pendulum support, Konami? Hey, Konami, where's the pendulum support? Konami, I noticed that you haven't given us pendulum support in a while. You're finally getting, in the deck build pack, pendulum support. I mean, Electromite and company just got their power-ups for Metalfoes in Blazing Vortex. Now we come down to Ancient Guardians here. Now you're finally getting a power-up, whether or not it be good or bad. I really do hope that if we really are getting something like this, if this is going to be the ability to modify scales. I wonder if it's going to be similar to how Zephyrath works. Maybe not so much like a copy and paste of Zephyrath, but the ability to, say, load something up into the extra deck, the ability to modify its scale. If you have another monster on the field, you can place a pendulum from your deck into the zone, to set up those scales. We do need cards that kind of flush out the weakness of pendulum at this point, and that big weakness is we need the ability to establish the scales on a cheaper cost basis, for example. And if we can actually make those pendulum scales more cost efficient, by being able to generate them for effectively free while we can still use the cards in our hand for other things, I do see this theme possibly getting a Link monster. We'll have to wait and see. If not, this is just going to be straight Pendulum Support. It's probably going to lock into the Archetype because Konami does not like giving too generic Pendulum Support. So if you're thinking that this is going to be something crazy generic, I have bad news for you. It's probably not going to happen. As much as I hope that we will get something a little bit more generic, I don't think it's going to happen. All right? And then the next one is probably the coolest thing that we got here. And I'm excited for this. This is the Ace Synchro monster. Ottawa Gundamu, as we call this. But the first thing that caught me about this, besides this being a Gundam, is, first off, this looks like a Gundam. All right, and I'm a little bit, not like off-put about that, but that's kind of interesting to me. The second thing that caught me off guard here was, why does this look like Neos? All right, like, did the artist that drew Neos decided that they wanted to make a mech? And I'm not crapping on the design for that. It's just, this is Optimus Prime Mech Edition, because, well, first up here, in the rest of the armor, you have literally the Transformer head here, all right? You have the rest of the Beast Wars armor here, all right? And then you have the Transformer head. This is literally, if you would have told me that this wasn't a Super Quantal Megazord, I would have been surprised to you. This literally looks like the person looked at Neos and said, all right, we're going to take Super Quantal White Layer and we're going to merge it into this Transformer Neos lookalike. All right, I don't know what else to really say about that. This card literally is going to just be a Transformer Neos. That's all there is to it. Now, keep in mind that this archetype does confirm that this is going to be relying on Synchro Summon. All right, which, hey, more Synchros. I really hope that this isn't going to be as crazy in the high tier as, say, Final Sigma. I guess we could see this being a level 12 Synchro. I also want to say down here that it wouldn't surprise me if this kind of ties into the whole Super Quantal lore, because we do have the Earth down here. Keep that in mind. So our Megazord / Optimus Prime Transformer / Gundam / Neos the mech here appears to be in outer space fighting above a planet. So whatever's going on with this whole thing here, this might just be a Transformers piece. So I kind of think that's cool. So the big thing out of all of this here, we basically confirmed that we're getting new Pendulum support. Oh boy, Pendulum Best Deck, let's go! We have a new Synchro archetype coming, which is very nice. And then we have this reptile / winged beast theme here that is going to be specializing on feeding from the graveyard, which means Snake's Reign buyout 4.6. The card will just get reprinted in the set if it has anything to do with that. There's nothing too pendulum heavy that you can really go for right now, just based off of concept art alone. And I still want to know what is going on here with Neos / Super Quantal / Transformer / Gundam. All right, like, I think the card looks spectacular. I can't wait to see what the rest of this archetype actually brings. And I actually hope here that what we're getting in the deck build pack here for the release on March 6th, I really do hope that this will give something too competitive. I know it's been a hot minute since we've had a deck build pack actually be crazy. I mean, the last one, Genesis Impactors, was a little bit of a miss, though Drytron now getting a little bit of love, which, I mean, is a very good thing. So what do you guys think about this art so far? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Are you guys as excited for this as I am? And I'll see your beautiful faces later on in the day for 12 Days of Christmas, I believe. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.